Hello, America!
Hi, America.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Welcome to Angel and the Wiz.
Welcome to Angel and the Wiz. Whoa, so, the
Wait.
whole, what?
Can you play this?
The
Wait.
whole, what?
Can we tell you this?
Sure.
You are looking much better.
Really?
You know, last week,
Oh.
the week before, you kind of looked pasty and nasty. Yeah, like you were being embalmed or something. It
Oh,
was not
great.
good.
Well, that's one thing.
So I was truly worried.
What I would look like today.
Well,
like
no,
I might look worse.
I was actually asking people at work, going,
How did he look?
How is he doing? Because
Oh.
I saw him and he wasn't so great, and they're like, he's just not. And I was like, I know, I gotta fix that.
Wow. Well,
So,
anyway.
I'm glad to see color on you.
Well, I mean, and I'm starting to come back. They told me, I went to the doctor on Friday. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the three of you that watch, you already
more
know,
than
but
that.
I'll say anyway. It was so I had 6 months of chemo, and so it just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and when they did the blood test on Friday, and it was a little low, but he says now, but that's expected. And now it should go back up. So we're going to see. I go back to the doctor in 3 months.
Good.
So
Still have the port.
Still have the port. Going to keep the port for at least 3 months. Have to do a colonoscopy in there somewhere because they've got to get a clean look. Well, I got to tell you something, and I think this is important for me to share with the people at home, especially those people that are worried about it. The way they do them these days, they give you a gallon of junk to drink the first day to flush your system out. That's the most inconvenient part of it. When you go into the hospital, they put you out cold. You don't even know what happens.
Nice.
It's great. You just, you sit there in the bed, you're watching TV or wherever. It depends on what you have in your hospital. And do you go to sleep?
Maybe I just need some of that just to clean out my system.
Well, I
don't want necessarily them to be sticking stuff up my
behind.
ding-dong.
Right. Well, I can only tell you that it threw me a little bit when they said we're going to clean your port every 6 weeks, because I didn't think I'd even have it in 6 weeks. So that threw me a little bit.
Oh, so you have to go back to the people to clean the port even
August
though you're
3rd.
not getting
Right, yeah, they got to flush it out and keep it safe. So
well, that makes sense. They don't want any infection and stuff.
I have to do that so I'm going August 3rd, and then I'll go again 6 weeks after that. I go back to the doctor on October 26th or something like that. So we'll see how that all turns out. But it's I was going to say the worst part about it, and of course this wasn't the worst part about it. But one of the things you notice the most, like gas, you got to buy gas, so you notice the gas price is high, and then it went back up. Okay, food, you eat every day, you drink every day, and nothing tastes the way you remember it. Everything is a little bit different. Now it's gotten better each day away, and my hands, they're still not right. The doctor says that the chemo is probably out of your system in about 48 hours itself. It's done whatever it's going to do. But so we'll see. We're just, we're just hoping. So, I have to do something.
Okay.
I wanted to thank you
Me?
for bringing the Christmas tree to me.
Oh, you're welcome.
God, that man. When you're
That was so long ago, though.
Angel, when you're having an operation for cancer at Christmas, it matters a lot when somebody shows up, especially when you don't expect them to, with a Christmas tree. I wanted to thank you for this last week, and I forgot. So I want you to know how much I appreciate it. Okay? I really appreciate it a lot.
It's my pleasure.
Well, it meant a lot to me, so and it was so unexpected. It was so unexpected, you know what I mean? So, I have another, and I don't, and this doesn't belittle this, because it was something I really wanted to say, but something happened at Amazon.com. I didn't know that Amazon.com was going into the Netflix world, where you can rent, you can get instant streaming. Okay, and I went to, and then they had one that said rent or buy. Okay, and I clicked buy. I was getting some for Tina. I clicked buy. Well, it didn't mean rent or buy a DVD. It meant rent or buy a streaming. You could like download.
Got it.
Well, man, that's not what I wanted, and I didn't realize it. And as soon as I realized it, which was probably about 7 minutes later, really, I called back, and they took care of it right away.
Good.
I mean, I went through with a credit card. They removed it right away, and you know, I wanted to just thank them for doing that because I felt that that was a, you know, they could have given me trouble. They could have not been a person there. There was a person. I got a person. They helped me out. They didn't punish me. It was my mistake. I told them it was my mistake.
I would say that. I believe Amazon.com has some really great customer service.
Well,
They do really well.
I started with them, and I used to buy DVDs. I have a lot of them now. I've gotten into the streaming thing. You know, it's really convenient to go in there and stuff like that. But so
I'm
anyway,
not big on the streaming. I like having, you know, like that's the. I think the one thing that's I've not adapted to
okay.
is the streaming or the digitalizing
Okay.
of things.
Now, does your computer plug into your TV?
It could if I wanted.
If
it
you
to.
wanted it to, because I would say
Yeah, I
without
think
that,
it'd
the
be
streaming is not as appealing. If you can't get,
But,
if
like,
you're
I
watching
have-
it on your computer, that's.
I have an Xbox and a PlayStation and a Wii that I can get Netflix on all of those devices.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I have those connected to the internet or you know the network, so
Right.
I could, if I wanted to, stream things.
Right.
And I don't know, and I just can't. My sister, as you guys know, moved down here, and they don't have cable TV. They
Right.
strictly have Netflix.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
And,
That's not
yeah,
enough.
and I was like, you can't.
You're not plugged into what's happening right now.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, it's great, and if we need to get the news, we just use the, what? And I'm like, okay, you know, and I just thought I can't, you know, for people, this is things I don't understand. For a family that has probably one of the biggest TV screens I've seen,
Right.
you know, I should say not. I think it was bigger, but like anyway, they.
I was about
they
to have TV envy.
They have a crappy old couch from my parents.
Okay.
That thing needs to get thrown out.
But they just sit on it.
Okay, it's nasty.
It's past
okay?
that. Okay.
But they have this great high-tech TV.
Right.
They have all these video games.
Cool.
They go to Disney like one day every weekend at least, because they have.
But they're no rivals.
Because they have annual passes.
They're going through the.
But they used to live down here. You
Oh,
know,
really?
like you bought an annual pass.
Sure.
It's the middle of July.
Right.
Why on earth
Right.
are you going
Especially
now?
when you could go and it's not as
Yes.
devastatingly hot.
Yes.
Even I
So
don't go and I get infinite.
Yeah, and so anyway, but then they look at me and they're like, it's too expensive to pay for cable and internet. What's wrong with you?
But you could get an annual pass. You could probably get your
Yeah.
cable for a fourth of.
Yeah, and I look at her and I just,
Well,
I
maybe not a
have to walk
fourth,
away.
but-
And, you know, I just have to walk away. You know, they're like, when we get more money, we're going to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Right.
what you spend on eating and, you know, I get the annual pass thing. I don't blame them. They have 2 young kids.
Right, sure.
You know, it's cheap, actually probably cheaper for them to pay the monthly for the annual passes.
Oh,
than it
especially
is-
now that you can buy it monthly.
Yeah.
You know,
So they
before
pay
you
like
used to
a
have to
monthly
drop
fee.
that whole $500.
Yeah,
You know?
so they pay monthly, and it's probably cheaper
Sure.
when you look at like vacation expenses or
Right.
outings with kids. But I'm like, what you spend on food and merchandise every time you go into the parks,
forget it.
save that for a month, and you can buy a new couch.
Easy.
Easy.
Because even if
And
you're just having hot dogs.
you can buy 3 couches if you go to IKEA with what you save.
You're right.
You know, and I'm just like,
Well,
I felt so sorry. My boyfriend went to their house.
okay.
Because it was my birthday this past week, and
Yes.
my niece's
Oh, happy
birthday.
birthday
Thank
again.
you.
You're very welcome.
And my niece's birthday, and my sister baked a cake for me and my niece, and we came over to their house for dinner, pizza and cake. And we didn't even make it into the house. He goes, I smell that dog. And I was like, they do have a dog.
Right.
And he goes, I smell the dog. And he looks at me. They have 1 dog. He goes, your house doesn't smell like this, and you have 6 cats.
Wow.
I was like, thank you. 6 cats. I have 6 litter boxes in my house. Let me tell you, I have to have 6 litter boxes in my house because I have 6 cats. They have 1 dog that goes outside, and their house smelled. And
the cats won't share?
the cats will
They
share.
would share.
Yeah, but you have
But
to.
you don't take the chance.
Yeah, think of, well, here, how many times do you use the bathroom a day?
Jeez, I don't
Like,
It's been more since the chemo.
right, but you use it at least, let's say you use
couple
it
of
at
times a
least
day.
3 times a day.
Sure, I think that's
once
fair.
after each meal at least, okay?
Right, yeah.
So an animal will have to use the bathroom roughly about the same
Right.
time as humans. Cats use litter boxes. So they're going to go and they're going to defecate in a litter box.
Right.
They can't flush that.
That's right.
So now they have to go back into that litter box.
Right.
So you should have, when you have one cat, they can just bury their stuff and then every day you scoop the litter box.
That's true.
When you have 6 cats,
Yeah, you can't do.
every cat should have, the rule is you should have 1 litter box per cat.
Right.
Because you have 6 cats, and if you only
they-
have 2 litter boxes,
Right.
you could have 6 cats or 3 cats, but it's a
Ha-
lot,
now-
it's a lot of poop.
Do they use exclusive boxes? Is this
They
one's
do.
Gandalf? This one's is
They do.
really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Sure, because they've got that scent and they know that's theirs.
Yeah, like, I have one cat, Boma, who
Wow.
uses. They all have like a set of, they each have their own. Like, Boma will use these 2 litter boxes. Gandalf will use these 2.
Okay.
Lucy will use these 2.
Uh-huh.
Maybe there might be one in common between them, but it's really they all kind of have their sets on.
Right.
And you see them go. I have Manny will go into 2 litter boxes, and he'll walk in and he'll walk into one. If he doesn't like it, he comes right back out and goes right to the second one.
Oh, that's cool.
If he doesn't like that, he's got an emergency one that I have somewhere that they use. So anyway.
That is true. Oh, I forgot to. I'm sorry, folks.
Sorry.
No, I forgot to tell them at the beginning of the show that this week and next week we have the final 2 episodes with Susie at the dump. These have never ever been seen before worldwide, and actually, this is the first time they're going to be seen exclusively to you folks in New York City. It's going to be exclusively on that Wednesday at 4 o'clock. For those of you that see us on YouTube, of course, you can see it anytime you want. These are the last 2 episodes of Susie at the Dump. So for those of you who have never been to East Hampton on Long Island and really want to know about one of the hot places, this is it, the recycle area. Very, very, okay. So I wanted to just plug that, and then we'll go back to music in a couple of weeks. No chemo.
Yay.
No chemo week. Wow, so
I'm done with kids.
you're done with kids?
Yeah.
You've had enough, huh? I don't know. I've said this. I want to phrase this just proper. If you work at a theme park anywhere in the world, I don't know how you go home to your children and not have their lives at risk. You know what I mean? I've been with kids all day, and I walk in the house, and there's a child, and he's my child, and he's right there, and I can put my hands around him and strangle him. You know what I mean?
Because you want to yell at him for all the stuff that you saw.
Yes,
the other
but
6,000
oh
kids
man,
do today.
and of course that's so not me. I mean, I would never do that under any conditions. But boy, it's just. So what happens is, and you probably get. I see you. Well, you're a teacher. It must be just as bad for you. You deal with different ages, but when you have those little crying kids or those little screaming kids, what happens is after a while, anytime you're around them. Anywhere, it doesn't matter if you're at your theme park or if you're there.
Or in a grocery store,
No,
in the
and
airport,
it
or
starts. You know what
in
I mean?
a restaurant.
Yes,
or,
right. Oh,
Why do you take your kids to one of the most expensive restaurants in the area and they're like 2 years old and they're screaming because
Yeah.
they don't have cheese pizza on the kids menu? Like,
Right.
what is wrong with you people? Parents, you don't think. When you become a parent, it's not all about you, it's about your child. And I'm not saying that you have to cave into
And it
your
becomes
children.
funny when you cheer for your children forever. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's not like you have to cave into your children and give them what they want all the time.
Right.
But let's be reasonable. If you're in public,
Right.
you're not just disrupting your family meal, you're disrupting everybody in the entire restaurant. So do me a favor, when your kid screams, get up and leave. Please.
Oh, I must say.
Very annoying.
I want to say something about Greg Gutfeld. He hosts the Red Eye show on Fox News, and he's on the 5, and he's deranged like myself. So
Okay.
we have a bonding there.
There's a bond.
And he said something that was a few weeks back. Our fearless, imperious, brave leader went out to say that anything that you think you did, you didn't do. The government helped you do it. Okay, and he used roads as an example. And let me tell you something. He lost the election on that speech. That speech is going to cost him the election if he had any chance of winning. When he came out and said, "You didn't do that. So you think you're smart? Well, there's plenty of smart people. You think you work hard? Lots of people are working hard." Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Lots of people don't create businesses and jobs and become millionaires. Some do. They work very hard. They have talent and grace and stick-to-itiveness and a lot of other talents. And usually they do it in spite of the government, not because the government helped. But he chose to use roads as his example. He said, "We built these roads." Well, he also didn't mention that the same people's taxes paid for those roads. See, he thinks government has money. That's Obama's biggest problem. He thinks the government has money. The government has no money. The government has our money. Okay, it takes our money from us for every single thing it does. So when he's not stimulating the economy, when he puts that money out there, because it's just our money, except he doesn't give it back to us. If he had handled the mortgage, I promise I'll get back to where I started. If he had handled the mortgage thing differently than he did, he could have really restarted the country. But he didn't want to. He doesn't want to. He does not like America. But now, the point that I'm trying to make. So he used roads as an example. You know, Henry Ford couldn't have made his cars if the government didn't make roads. Well, actually, Henry Ford started making roads, and they started making cars, and they had to make roads because everybody wanted them. And they still used our tax money to build the roads. They didn't use the government money because there ain't no government money. Okay, now, what I thought was so good is here's Obama wanting credit for building roads because the pizza places and the Lowe's shopping centers and all that, they made it because there was government roads. And he says, well, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer drove on those roads, and John Wayne Gacy drove on those roads. So, do you take the responsibility for that? I thought that was so smooth.
I am so over it.
Are you really? We'll all be over it in 110 days.
Over it all. I don't care about Mrs. Palin. I don't care about President Obama. I don't care about who's running for what office.
Been too much, huh?
I'm just done with it.
That's good. Just vote properly in
done.
November. Or stay home. If you don't want to vote for either one, it's okay.
I will probably vote. I might not cast a ballot for that, but I will probably vote because there tend to be a lot of education reforms that go on ballots.
Oh, really?
Locally. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, all the time. And the thing about them is you really have to read them carefully.
Oh yeah, because sometimes the yes don't mean yes.
Yeah, the wording is so tricky.
It's because they're criminals.
That our union. What our union does, and I appreciate this. I know you don't like unions because they have money or whatever the reason is.
Well, because most of them are corrupt, and it said we don't have to go there.
What the union does is with at least us is that we have a meeting like a week before election day.
And they tell you who to vote for.
They don't tell us that. They say they don't really do that, and I'm grateful for that. They let us make our own decisions, but what they take is anything that has education reform or changes that we need to vote on, and they say, here's what the wording says.
Right.
Here's how it's going to appear on your ballot.
Right.
Here's what the actual bill is. Here's how, and so what we do is we really get to see. You know, it says
the phraseology,
the phrasing of it, and like how you said, you might say yes, but yes might not mean.
Yes might mean no.
When they when they were talking about class size reduction, they had spun it on the ballot in a way that if you voted yes, it was yes, you are eliminating the class size reduction law, and that was like no, we don't want to. You know, so it was one of those.
Hey, gotta pay attention.
Yeah, they're like, here's what it, and I went in with the cheat sheet. I went into the thing, and I had that thing that the union gave me, and I was like, okay. Because I knew that there were, this was a couple years ago, I knew that there was enough on the ballot that I wasn't going to be able to remember everything.
Right.
So I went with a little cheat sheet, took out my pocket, and I was like, okay, so this.
Well, you're allowed to do that.
Means this. Okay, and so then you got to make your own decisions, and there were a couple that I had voted probably against the norm on because I felt that what was
but we've already established you're intelligent, and you have the ability to reason, which is lost on many people.
Yes.
You know, some people are ideologues and they can't. That's what hurt Obama. Listen, don't get me wrong. He had an opportunity to be great. And he's turned out to just be another socialist. What he could have done as an almost black guy, you know what I mean? He could have done a lot. And he didn't. And he let the country down. He let the African Americans down, who will soon be calling him a white black man, okay? You know, like a white Hispanic. George Zimmerman is a white Hispanic because we need to keep that churning up. Anyway,
I'm just
so
over it. I don't have the energy.
It's the time,
or the emotion to.
And it's hot.
It's hot. Yeah, I just don't have the energy or the emotion to. Right at this point, take care.
Right.
Summer.
Well,
I got a couple more weeks left of summer vacation.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's nice.
I feel like I have 10 days of summer vacation left, and that's it.
Do you have the internet classes during the summer?
I do teach online, yeah.
Wow.
But that's been trickling down, so.
Okay. And then what does it do? It get gins back
and
up?
And then it just, yeah, it gets
Wow.
really back up. So.
For those of you that don't know, Princess Angel here is a math teacher.
Yes.
And
so in about a month or so, you'll be hearing the stories.
All the
battle
stuff.
stories from inside the classroom.
Well, that's okay, you know, because we're always happy to share, and it allows you to vent, saves you money. Why go to a therapist? You have us every 2 weeks.
I do. I'm grateful for you guys sometimes.
A chance to vent.
I do vent.
Well, but that's
I told my sister, don't
totally
watch the
okay.
show.
Oh, really? Oh, it's like
She
that.
doesn't really know, I just don't watch the show.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I did get some emails, but I didn't pull them out for this week. But you know, I have a very steady stream from my Aunt Pat keeps me
Aunt Pat
very, very, very up to date on the most current.
I'll have to find the one that talks about how to speak Chicago.
Yeah, you know, because you know, anyway. So let me see. So what else is new? I guess, do we have to comment on the Batman thing? The killings in the theater? See,
that.
if one guy had a gun, he could have saved some lives. But he didn't. There was nobody in there with a gun. In Colorado, the West, the Wild West.
Ooh, they're wacky. No,
I would have figured somebody would have had a pistol or something.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. And you know what's so funny? Because you see all these guys that were there. I see them when I'm watching all the films. I'm seeing all these big, muscular guys.
Let me tell you something about. So, the comic book movies on the midnight showings don't usually bring in the rough and tough,
nutcases,
gung-ho crowd.
Right.
It's usually the comic book geeks that are probably going to wet themselves because they've been waiting. That all these guys do is sit and read comics and sit. They're like the nerds and the geeks, and you know, like that stereotype that you see when they're portrayed on TV isn't too far off from reality.
Right.
So chances are that they don't even own guns. Like, these are the people that sit and play video games, and they go to work
I got
forever. So
I'll tell you what,
it'd be different if it was like Harry Potter,
right.
And you know, because then you have the parents that bring their kids to these midnight showings, and I'm sure the parents would have had a gun or two. But
now listen, we have to get out in 30 seconds.
Sorry.
So let me just say, this is Susie at the recycle area in East Hampton. It's very illuminating. I hope it's funny. And we'll continue our Batman discussion next week because I got a couple things I want to mention. But, you know, so always a pleasure. Thank you again for the Christmas tree. My pleasure. And remember, do something, even if it's a little thing, to make the world a better place to be. And
volunteer at your local animal shelter.
See, what more can we say?
Bye.
Get back into shape with this?
The only thing you do is get rust stains from that thing.
Rust stains. Well, I say it works, and I think somebody even put new springs on it. Now, if you'd like to really go someplace, here's the body to a bike. There's a dog kennel here, a house for your dog. And look at this, Reader's Digest, a whole set of, so those of you who are illiterate or who love to read, you can come here to the salvage area at the East Hampton dump and look, the Cane Mutiny. This is worth taking. Let's take some of these, Dave, and learn something. I mean, Mrs. Paris goes to Texas. There's a whole slew of things here. Oh, this is great. Dave, complete for my new baby. Baby toys. The mic's out, Dave. Dave, did you turn off the mic when I was talking?
No, we still got...
Should we go back and reiterate what... No. Okay, somebody has some very unhappy memories about high school or their college, but they left their book here. St. Lawrence University. Well, it looks like it's 1960s, and if somebody wants to assume another identity, I guess they could come here and just put these on their shelf, and they would be part of St. Lawrence University. I don't know. If anyone's looking for this, it's the year 1972. Hey, that's the year I graduated from 6th grade. So if you're looking for it, it's here. Maybe the mother or father threw it out. I don't know. Okay. Summertime sports, Dave. You don't have to go and buy these at Seasonings. You can get them right here. They're practically completely new, a little worn on the sides, but hey, you know, flippers for your kids to go swimming in. All right, what else? Plant potters are here, baby toys, as we mentioned. Beach chairs. I love to sun. And this is great because if you have a lot of guests who come to your house and like to sun, here are a couple of extra chairs for absolutely free. What do you say, Dave? This is kind of nice. In fact, I think it's nice just to sit here and watch the people. This is a great place to meet people. Do you think so?
Yeah, don't get much of a tan under the tent, though.
Well, I don't think that's really important. It's just I like to meet people, so I'm not interested in tanning, Dave. I mean, you know, I'm not completely vain.
Yeah, it starts looking like you're living here.
Well, that's okay. That would be a good place. It's summertime. You just bought 2 tents, Dave. What are you going to do? This is a big tent. Put up a little plastic, you know, might be nice. Well, let's see. Shall we talk to some other people and see if they have found anything really important here? Sir, what's your name?
The name is Coward, James Coward.
Well, how do you do? We're on Channel 27, and we came to the salvage department today to see if what's here, and I want to know if you've ever been here before.
I've never been here before, but of course I come to the dump quite often. I have an awful lot of leaves to dispose of.
Uh-huh. Have you ever found, you've never been here, so you've never found anything?
No, I've never been here. Just today, I asked today what was it for, and I was told that it's a place that things were left. The souvenirs, whatever.
Are you going to bring anything here yourself, do you think?
Yes, whatever I have at home to get rid of. Hopefully somebody else can use it.
Uh-huh. Okay, well,
Did you just find that faucet piece here?
Yes, I did. I just...
Oh, yeah, let's see this. Let's see.
The faucet seems to be very good, very
Now,
useful.
see that? Yeah, there's
And
nothing wrong with
certainly
that.
nothing wrong with it. I mean, a normal person who has a sink or something, they could certainly use it.